Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and I love houseplants. I am so excited to be able to share my houseplant collection with you guys and help you on your journey as we all learn and grow together as we take care of our plants. So if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Without further ado, we will go ahead and get started. So I will be showing you guys my Antherium collection today. If you didn't know, Anthurium is a genus of plants with over 1,000 species in it. I definitely do not have 1,000, but I have quite a few. So we'll go ahead and dive in. I'm not showing these in any particular order, it's just kind of what I have and what I brought out. Something else that I do want to share and talk about is my favorite substrate to grow Anthurium in. I won't give like a perfect care guide because every plant is different, every home and environment ecosystem is different, and so how I care for mine might not be like how you should care for yours. But I will still tell you how I care for mine and what works for me. But let's get started with the collection. I just grabbed this one because it was closest, but this is my Anthurium FORGETTI. It is the dark form. So this one, you'll notice it has just like a perfect you'll notice that this one has just like a perfect round form right here on top, and then it comes to a point, kind of like a teardrop. And that is what the FORGETTI is known for, is for that distinct leaf shape. I bought this one from a lady off of Facebook. She's local to me, and it used to be much bigger, but then it ended up getting root rot, and I had to regrow it completely, and it grew these tiny baby leaves for me. You'll see we're losing a leaf right here. But this one specifically I have growing in perlite and moss. I think it's mainly perlite still. And I have it living in my Botanica's terrarium, so it gets a lot of humidity and it gets about 8 hours of light. Okay, so the next few that I have are called the Anthurium CRYSTALINUM. CRYSTALINUM is considered to be a bit more common, and that's why I have a few of them. This one I got from a friend who also collects houseplants. She sold it to me. It came to me with just this leaf, and then it grew this one, but I cleaned it with Captain Jack's when the leaf hadn't fully hardened yet, and it totally deformed it, which is fine. I'll get other leaves, it's no big deal. In fact, there's one growing in right now. There's no way you'll see it, but this one I have growing in moss as well. I really like growing it in moss just because it's easier to tell when it needs to be watered. And it's doing really well. It likes it. So Anthurium CRYSTALINUM. This next one is just another Anthurium CRYSTALINUM that I have growing in soil. I bought this one from a local gal. She had it growing in soil, so I didn't want to change it over and shock its roots. But it is giving me this super cute leaf right here. That's one of my favorite things about Anthuriums, is that sometimes their leaves come in with this beautiful red color, and then they slowly harden off to show this beautiful velvety green. This is another crystallinum that I have. This one is considered a dark form though, which means that its leaves, as it matures, will just get darker and the veining will be more prominent, which I think is really cool. But when it came to me, it was not very happy, and then it didn't love living in my environment, and it actually dropped quite a few leaves, but now it is growing a new leaf right there. Super fun, and that just tells me that it is happy. It's not completely gonna die. But Anthuriums they don't keep a ton of leaves like philodendrons or monsteras do. Typically they'll only have like 2 to 3 leaves, sometimes 1, and that's okay. This one I have growing in moss. This next Anthurium is actually one of my favorites. It was the first rare or uncommon plant that I ever purchased. And it's been on quite a journey, so let me show it to you. This is my Anthurium CRYSTALINUM dark form. When it came to me, it had 2 leaves and then it got root rot. That was my first time ever working with root rot or treating a plant for root rot or even hearing about root rot. It was quite the journey. I took care of it, I rehabbed it. Hydrogen peroxide, my best friend. If you don't have it in your collection, you need some hydrogen peroxide. Just keep like a storage of it. It finally bounced back and it grew these 2 leaves for me here. And then now, just recently, it is just taking off. So this one, it just grew. I think this one just hardened off for me like a couple days ago. And then it is growing a new leaf here, a new leaf there, and then one more right in there. So we've got new leaves just coming out of nowhere. I've never had an Anthurium hold this many leaves, so I'm super excited about it. And yeah, it's my baby. I stopped it from dying. I saved its life, so it's my baby. The next one that I want to show you guys is another one of my favorites. I might just be saying that all of these are my favorites because, well, they are.
The name of the video.
It's the name of the video. My favorite plants, the Anthuriums. So this is my Antherium WAROCQUEANUM, and I might be saying that differently than you, it's fine. Generally, I just call it the queen because, well, it is a queen. She just grew this beautiful leaf for me, and I'm so in love with it. I got it at a local plant shop, not plant shop, sorry, plant swap. And when it came to me, it had 2 leaves that are now gone. And then these 2, it grew in my care, and then this one is the newest one. It's as big as my head. This one I do have growing in moss. It's been growing in moss since I got it, and it's just been happy, so I haven't seen the need to take it out of the moss. If you'll look though, you guys will love this. There are its roots. It is starting to grow roots out of its little net pot. But I keep it like this, you know, kind of wonky, propped up just a little bit higher so that the leaves don't touch the ground or the shelf. It's in my IKEA cabinet, so. But yeah, it's very happy and I love it. I could stare at this plant for hours. It is, chef's kiss. It is so much fun. And then what is a queen without her king? This is my Anthurium VEITCHII. I was totally inspired to buy this plant and I'm so glad that I found it. When I got it, it had this leaf, this one, and then another one. The other one died when we moved. But this is its newest leaf. It's tall, it's a little wanky. Look how it like sticks out, all funny. This one I have growing in moss as well, and it seems to be doing just fine. If you want an easy and a cool Anthurium, I recommend this one. This one I don't have living in any kind of cabinet. I don't run a humidifier, and it's just doing fine. So, well, it's doing more than fine. It's just, I mean, it takes forever to grow, so heads up. But truthfully, this is one of my favorite Anthuriums. I absolutely love it. It's very unique. If you've noticed, most of the Anthuriums have this cool like veining to them. And then this guy doesn't. He has some washboard abs. I think that's why they call him the king. So very fun. Definitely one of my favorites. This one, I have no idea how to pronounce the name. It's like FRIEDRICHSTHALII, yeah, freaky something, I have no idea. But this is one of my strappy Anthuriums, so it's a different kind. So there's the velvet Anthuriums that we just saw, then the king Anthurium, and then this one here is a strappy Anthurium. So they're just known to have these super long, skinny leaves. They look really cool. Definitely adds to the jungle vibes if that's what you're going for. I bought this one from Canopy Plants Co. I'm saying their name wrong. We'll put it on the screen. But this has been such an easy plant for me. I do keep it in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. where most of my Anthuriums sit, but it hasn't given me any problems. It is in soil. I just water it when the soil is dry, and it's actually flowering for me, so it's doing really well. It's very cute. Very little. This is my big one. It is an Anthurium VITTARIFOLIum. VITTARIFOLIum? Yeah. VITTARIFOLIum that I actually got from a Facebook seller, a sell group, and it is very long and strappy. This is one of my favorite Anthuriums. They're all my favorite, let's be honest. But truthfully, I do love this plant. It is so cool and unique and big, and I love how big it is. But yeah, this one is also super easy. I did have it growing in my IKEA greenhouse back at our old house, but then we moved here, and I've been trying to get it adapted to just room humidity levels and all of that fun stuff. So it's just been sitting on top of my IKEA greenhouse cabinet so I can fully appreciate its long, strappy leaves. And goodness, I love it. It is giving me a new leaf, which I'm so excited for. They just kind of keep getting longer and longer as they grow. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. This one I do have growing in moss. It does really well in the moss. That's how it came to me. So again, I didn't feel the need to transfer it over to soil, and it's been doing just fine. So I absolutely love this one. If you guys have made it through this video up to this point, go comment down below which of the Anthuriums that I've shown you is like one of your favorites, or which one you think is cooler. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. This next one is fun because it is my experiment. This is my first time propagating an Anthurium, and it was very successful, as you can tell. This is just a common Anthurium. You'll see them at like big box stores or grocery stores, and they have these big, bright colored flowers on them that almost look fake. My grandma got me this one for Valentine's Day a year ago. And I decided I wanted to try to propagate Anthuriums, but I didn't dare do it with any of my other ones, so I tried it with this one, and it's just very happy. We've got some really fun pink roots growing in the perlite and some new leaves on its way. So yes, I love this one because it was an experiment and it was successful. Okay, my very last two that I will show you guys are seedlings. And I apologize, I don't know the name. I know they're hybrids, but these little guys I bought from a girl on Facebook. That's where I get most of mine from. This one will turn out to be similar to the CRYSTALINUMs. And then this one will be similar to the VITTARIFOLIUM, where it's a strappy Anthurium. These two I have growing in my Botanica's terrarium, and I'm just, you know, they're living in moss, and I love having them. They're just cute and little as they grow. This one is not doing as well as this little heart-shaped one over here. That's okay, it's just an experiment. We'll see how it goes. On to some care tips that I have for taking care of Anthuriums. First of all, if you buy a velvet Anthurium, just know that those ones do require higher humidity. So if it looks like this, it has the veining, it really does, the leaf looks like velvet, then just know that these ones do need more humidity than the other kinds, but you can acclimate them to room level humidity if you'd like to, but I just keep all of mine in my greenhouse, like just to be safe. I water my Anthuriums just when they need it. I know some people say to not let them dry out all the way, so to like keep them a little bit more on the humid side or the soil a little bit more damp. But for me personally, when I do that, I am more prone to get root rot, and then, you know, you lose leaves and you could possibly lose your plant. So I like to instead, I just water them when the soil is dry. I let them dry out. I think that my plants are all used to that. And so that's why they can tolerate the longer drought periods. If your plant isn't used to that, try to just slowly acclimate it to having less water and being more like being used to that. Don't ever let it get too far though. For example, my husband and I went on a trip over to Europe, and when I came back, this poor plant, its leaves were drooping. So they, like the stems were like down here. And this one never bounced back up. Like it was up here and now it's down there. It never fully recovered. So don't let them get too dry, but just let them dry out enough and then give them more water, if that makes any sense at all. Substrate, so moss versus soil. Truthfully, I think that moss is easier just because it's easier to tell when your plants need water. You don't have to stick your finger in the soil. You can just give it a tap on the top. For example, like this one, I can feel that this moss on top is pretty dry, so that means that it needs a drink. With moss though, you do have to be more aware of your plants. You can't let it get too dry because the moss will then dry out those roots a lot quicker. But it is easier to tell when your plant needs a drink if you have it in moss versus soil. Just keep in mind though, if you do keep your plant in moss, that it will need more nutrients because moss does not carry the same nutrients as soil. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, you can keep it in either one. My rule of thumb has always been whichever substrate the plant comes in, that's what I leave it in. So the ones who came to me already in soil, I didn't change out of soil. The ones who came to me in moss have stayed in moss. Just that way it doesn't shock the plant too much and it makes things easier. Easier for me, and that's all I want. There are lots of like rumors and speculation saying that Anthuriums are hard to care for, that it's more of an intermediate plant, but you definitely can find ones that are easier to care for than others, and you can still appreciate their beauty. So, yeah. That's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching and checking out my Anthurium collection with me. I hope that you guys loved this video as much as I loved sharing it with you. If you have a favorite Anthurium or a cool Anthurium hybrid that I haven't heard of, go ahead and drop those in the comments. I would love to hear all about your collection and what you guys have going on at home as well. If you'd like to try Anthuriums but you're a little bit nervous, go check out my Instagram. It is Lil House Plants. There you can check out Anthurium care guides. You can send me a direct message and I'd be happy to help you. So thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!